Alright, so hear me out.
Okay.
The AC breaks.
The AC breaks.
I'm lagging.
The AC. Oh goddamn.
Black people.
Black people. All right. The AC breaks because of black people.
Or like becomes black people.
It becomes
No,
black
Shrek
people. Okay, the
becomes
AC
black people.
explodes into black people, right? Like you said, like a bunch of black people get out of the AC, right?
Well, what kind of black are we talking?
Like any kind of black. Like we could say like
Tribal or
black.
like tribal or modern?
No, we're talking like pure African black.
Okay.
Like they just came out of fucking Somalia.
Alright, so... Okay, right, so they come out, they're finished, these dudes are hungry, so, okay, if you're hungry and you see noodles in front of you, you're gonna eat them, right? So, the noodles that were been used for a hand job for like 50 hours, they decided to share them and eat them together, right?
Of course, yeah, like, what else would you do?
Yeah, it only makes sense, right? It's food. Yeah, why would you let it go to waste, man? Okay, God fucking guys.
Like, they're on a college budget, so, like...
Yeah.
It's scarce, you know?
Yeah, ramen's hard. If you go to the grocery store, it's gonna be like $10 a pack. Have you ever seen how like expensive that is? Ramen is hard to get. There's a reason college students don't eat it all the time because it's so expensive.
Okay.
They go for steaks and stuff, you know.
Lobsters. The classy thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what happens? They're all done. We're gonna say the black people are there, but we haven't really established them yet. So they're done. They eat the noodles. Okay. So that happens. And it's 50 hours later, so let's say it's like sometime in the day, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, now they're like, guys, that was really, really good. And what are they gonna do next? Like, are they gonna go like on an adventure? Are they gonna play some video games? Like, we gotta come up with an idea here.
Alright, they gotta play, alright, so they sit down on their Atari and play Bratz and Barbie Island Adventure.
Alright, I like it. Okay, so they're playing this game. Alright.
And then, wait, hold up. Once when they get bored of that, then they start to get memories of Black Ops 2 on Xbox 360. So then they play that.
Alright, yeah, they want to play Black Ops. Okay, cool. So they're playing Black Ops 2 after playing on Bratz and Barbie. They play it for a good amount of time. I look at my watch to discern the hours again. Alright, they play it for 52 hours, and then they get they play it for 52 hours, and then they get bored. Okay? Jesus Christ. They've spent like 100 hours already. Oh, God.
This is the sound of a man realizing what he's done.
It is.
Hear me out. And then, alright, Shadow pulls out an SNES cartridge, and on it, what else but Fortnite Battle Royale mode.
Yes! Jesus!
No. They pull up YouTube and then they start to watch Allier Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah. Oh, by the way, I hate to interrupt the fanfic, but I was watching E3 earlier, right? And a section of E3 was just him playing Fortnite. I'm serious.
No.
Yeah, no, he played Fortnite for like an hour straight at E3. No big announcements, just him playing Fortnite. Allier.
No.
He played it with Ninja for like 30 minutes, something straight, on E3. No game reveals, no big reveals about Fortnite, no huge update. They just played Fortnite while Jeff Keighley, you know, the Doritos Pope, talked about it. Yeah.
You know, I'd rather play a high-res game than play fucking Fortnite.
Alright, fair enough. Anyways, back to the fanfic. Okay, so they're playing Fortnite on the Super Nintendo. How much time do they spend on that? I've rolled up the time the last 2 times. How much time do they spend playing Fortnite Super Nintendo?
All of it.
Okay, so they play Fortnite Super Nintendo
Until the singularity collapses onto itself.
Yeah, okay.
The universe into a black hole.
The amount of time they played Fortnite on the Super Nintendo is all of it. Just all of it. Just all of it. Okay, so they spend all the time playing SNES Fortnite. Alright. Okay, so they're like, what did they do afterwards? Like, okay, so the singularity collapses. We're gonna assume that these 3 characters are powerful enough to surpass reality in its death and transcend. What happens?
Alright, so then God's there, like, hey bro, you guys wanna like jack
Yeah.
off in a circle jerk at the
I get it. Of course God would be there. Yeah, that makes sense, dude.
Universe.
You have a gift, my friend. Alright, so God's there, they jack off together, let's say they spend, like, you know, it doesn't really matter how much time they spend, they, like, jack off for, like, a second, but it's so good that they, like, finish immediately, okay? Because, like, listen, they're busy dudes, they got to calm down sometimes, you know? They spend a lot of time playing Fortnite, yeah, okay. So now they're like jacking off, right? And now God's like, look, pretty good. Hey, and he's like, you guys want to play a video game? And he pulls out, guess what? The best game in the world, Fortnite for the Super Nintendo. And
Wow.
yeah, for the Super Nintendo. Okay, God, Shrek, Shadow, and Naruto. They all play Fortnite, Super Nintendo. They're like, man, we actually haven't played that game in a long time. Get it? And then what happens is they're playing it. Okay, so how much time do they spend playing this round?
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Okay, cool. It was a really fast game of Fortnite. It was pretty good. All right, now they're done. What does post reality look like? Is it like a white void? Is it the fourth dimension?
It's Tilted Towers.
Does this have a DLC?
It's just Tilted Towers.
It's just okay.
Oh no! Demon.
That's what the afterlife is gonna be. It's just gonna be Tilted Towers.
Tilted Towers. Okay. All right. Okay, so they're at this place, right? The afterlife is Krusty Towers.
Copyright.
We got Tilted Towers, dude.
Okay, the Tilted Towers. This is like the World Trade Center, like, right? It's tilted.
Oh my god.
Bro, have you ever played Fortnite? Have you ever played Fortnite, dude? It's Tilted Towers. It's the only part of the game. It's Tilted Towers.
Right. Okay. Right. Tilted Towers. The afterlife is Tilted Towers in Fortnite. Thank you. I'm not a Fortnite expert. You have to ask Naruto. I'm Naruto X678. Naruto Tomes. Okay, thanks.
I see.
Okay, so they're Tilted Towers, right? They play Fortnite for 5 seconds, and they realize, well, I play Fortnite when we're in Fortnite, right? So this is the story of how 3 men and a dog went out on a journey to play Fortnite in real life. Naruto, Shrek, Shadow the Hedgehog. See, that's funny. It's the punchline. And God, and they're playing Fortnite together, right? This is the ultimate team. You can't get better than this. You have Jesus motherfucking Christ on this team. Naruto, the motherfucking Hokage, Shrek, God 2, and Shadow the Hedgehog. You can't get better than this. All right.
Why is disguised as me?
Oh yeah, tomorrow. But this is important. Okay. Okay, so they're playing Fortnite, right? Okay, so what happens? They see the number 100. It slowly starts ticking down. People are dying. Instantly, they start scrambling around. They get their weapons, okay? It doesn't matter. They just get a bunch of guns. They're pretty well off. They get some equipment, get some medical supplies, ransacking this place, and things are going pretty good for them at this point, right? So what happens? Okay, they go and set out to try to stay a little away from the ring so they can kind of like spare some time, right? Like they can still. They're gonna wait for some. They're gonna waste some time, and things are gonna go down. And then what's gonna happen is they're gonna go. And they're gonna like start hunting there. Then the ring's gonna close and they're gonna keep moving. Okay, so they're pretty skilled, right? They kill quite a few people that are coming after them. The counter is now down to 50. Half the players are gone. All of Naruto's squad remains. And what's going on here is that they're doing pretty good. People keep dying. The arena's getting smaller. They're actually doing pretty good. Who shows up? Like, who are we gonna throw into the story? Like, one of these characters is someone really cool, right? Who is it?
No one expects this. No one expects this. Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Who is it?
Yugi should join. Yugi.
Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So Yu-Gi-Oh's like standing on top of a building, right? Because he's like an anime pro tech. He does that because it's cool, and he's looking down at them, and he goes, okay, these lug nuts don't even have their own Yu-Gi-Oh decks, and I'm gonna jump down, and he goes and takes to the shotgun because you can't Yu-Gi-Oh duel them, right? He's Yugi, you know he has access to firearms, especially since it's Fortnite. He jumps down and says, "I challenge you to a duel." He said, "But we don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, Naruto." And Yugi's like, "Yeah." So he takes his shotgun out of his pocket, right? He has pretty big sockets. He's pretty cool. He can afford big pockets. So they start fighting each other. Yu-Gi-Oh, however, Yu-Gi-Oh himself, not Yugi, just Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh, that's his full name. And what happens is they're fighting each other, right? Okay, Naruto, the other dudes are walled off. They can't fight. It's like really intense because they're watching Naruto fight. They're watching this dude fight. Yugi is powerful. He's getting hits in. Naruto's getting hits in. It comes down to this point. They're both weak. They're both wounded. But they're both still prepared to fight. They won't let down. They're strong. And Yugi says, "Don't you know if you continue down this path, you are fools. You're not going to save anyone." Naruto is like, "No, but this is the right thing to do. We need to save the land of Fortnite." Because that's what they're fighting here. If they win, they become King Fortnites, right? And so what happens is they're like, "No, we're gonna win." Yugi says, "You fools! I was trying to fight for the right thing." He's like, "Okay, if I kill you, if I kill God, I can put an end to Fortnite, and we can all be freed from this constant shuffle of." Like, just dying and being reborn in this crazy world.
Question.
Sans can come in soon. Don't worry, dude.
This?
We can have Sans, Earthbound character, right? We can have like an Earthbound character.
Hold on. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Sans, but he says flex tape.
Oh my god, dude, you again. Proving that you're a writer here. I'm glad I have you on my side, okay, dude?
Yeah, flex. Sans selling flex tape.
Yeah, okay, Sans. Okay, so, Naruto picks himself up on the ground, and he's like, "I am the Hokage." And he shoots him, right? The others in his team are like, a little like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like, okay, like, this dude, he said some pretty heavy stuff. You could have heard him out a little bit more, like, what's going on? But they understand that they have to do this because they need to become the kings of Fortnite. If they can do this, maybe something good can happen. Okay, they kill Yugi. Yugi has been fighting as part of the resistance for quite a while now. Naruto and Shrek and God and Shadow continue onwards. The thing's ticking down. They bandage up Naruto. They heal him. He's doing pretty good. He drinks some slurps, and Naruto's doing perfectly again, just as he was before the fight. All right, and now. Okay, so now here's what happens. They keep going. Clock's ticking down. They don't really meet anyone else who has a challenge. He was there to challenge him. He was sent in. He was sent to fight. And, yeah. So, okay. Now what happens is... Alright. Yeah, give me a second, alright? I'm gonna get to something here. Okay, so... Now, Yugi is, like, he's dead. They're going on. They're, like, down to the last person. This says one person remaining. Like, they get it down to 0, but then the clock ticks back up. And the entire area goes dark. And it says, okay, you're King Fortnite now. But despite the fact there's only, like, one person here, and Shadow's like, damn, this is like a creepypasta. Creepypastas are as dark as my soul. And he crosses his arms because he's really cool like that, right? And he's pretty cool. So what's going on is, like, they're doing this. They go on, they're becoming the King of Fortnite. It's like, now with our power, we can save Fortnite, right? And And so what happens is Sans is here. He shows up. He steps out of the darkness, right? He's like, "You fools, do you know what you've done? Do you know what you've done, you absolute fools? Do you have done so much to this timeline, this world?" He's like, "Do you know who sent Yugi down to fight you? It was me, Sans. I'm trying to save the world. Do you understand what this resistance is for? You killed our top soldier." So, Naruto comes out, and he's like, "Yeah, but I'm King Fortnite now." It's like, "Yeah, I can see that." And he goes, and Naruto starts fighting Sans. He starts fighting Sans. Lucas Griffin is his name. And he goes and he fights Sans. Things are going pretty well, but they have the other dudes on their side, right? There's no wall blocking them off at this point. They overpower Sans, the four of them together. There's really no fight here. And when they do that, it's time to take off his mask. It's like Scooby-Doo, right? He's a skeleton. The mystery crew van people, they take off the mask. It's a monster, right? These dudes. I said before, there's three men and a dog. It's close enough to Scooby-Doo, right? Shadow the Hedgehog, right? So they take off the mask of Sans, and they see none other than Lucas, aka Peter Griffin, as someone said. Like, he's actually Peter Griffin, right? He's dead now. He is dead, okay? And they realize they're king of Fortnite now. So, they realize they have so much power now, the power over Fortnite. They have this thing going on. And they go to, try to go fight these dudes. Not fight these dudes, I mean, they're gonna try to go up to the panels of the King of Fortnite. They're in, this dark void, and they can see, the multiverse of Fortnite. Every match going on at once. There are buttons on this control panel. None of them is a dedicated Save Fortnite button. At this point, Naruto realizes Yugi's words echoing in his head. He starts to think, no, I couldn't have been wrong here. I'm the good guy here. I know what I'm doing is right. And he goes and looks at the buttons, and pretty much the entire control panel is busted. Fortnite, these matches have been going on for longer than our reality has existed, okay? And this control panel is old. The one button that works is labeled Reset Universe, and Naruto realizes he's stuck in this room. He's the king of Fortnite. His friends are all kings of Fortnite. They can't do anything. So he's like, shit. They're sitting there. They don't want to press this button, but no escape in this black void. Hours turn to days, days turns to weeks, and weeks turn to years. After some time, they're like, guys, I need to press. We need to press it. I can't take this anymore. What's worse, resetting this universe and bringing peace to this world, or spending the rest of time here forever? And God adds in, we have outlasted the time that reality has to live. The galaxy, the universe, our third dimension has collapsed in on itself. Everything is over. We have no other choice. Naruto reluctantly reaches his hands up. He understands. He presses the Reset Universe button. A giant light just overrun the area. They're scared, but they know what's going to happen. They did this, and they need to reset it. They reset it, and they're hoping that wherever they end up in this next reality, maybe they can still be friends. The world begins however it began. I mean, I'm not a fucking genius. You think I know how the world started? No, I don't. Okay, so many years pass. An ogre named Shrek is born. Shadow is created from the blood cloning process of Black Doom. The entire events of Sonic Adventure 2 happen, all that shit. Shrek goes through his quest, he grows up, God is watching over. and the entire the Bible happens, and everything happens. These dudes eventually they meet up. They're friends. They start to become friends again, and Naruto starts. He starts like. Naruto looks on the internet and he's playing Minecraft, right? He gets horny and he's eating his ramen, right? So he starts to masturbate with some ramen, and Shadow the Hedgehog suddenly appears and goes Super Saiyan 3, and he starts jerking him off the ramen. His Naruto's dick has a ninja headband on it. Shrek bursts in. You know, they do the whole Rumpelstiltskin, okay? These dudes, they decide to play Bratz and Barbie on the Atari. They get bored, play a little bit of Black Ops 2 on the Xbox 360. They decide to play Fortnite SNES. Okay? They play it until the reality collapses in on itself. Okay, so what happens? They play until reality collapses in on itself. And eventually they're in this thing. They're in the post-reality, Tilted Towers, and God is there too. They become friends with God after the whole thing. They're in Fortnite, right? They're doing pretty good. There's a 100 at the corner of their vision. They're starting to tick down. People are fighting. They get down to about 50. They find Yugi. Yugi finds them. He's standing at the top of the building. He jumps down. They're not even duelists, so he takes out his shotgun. It's like, I challenge you to a duel. And God's like, we're not duelists. We can't fight you. So he takes out his shotgun. Yeah, a shotgun duel. And they fight. It's pretty close. It's really tough. The other dudes can't even join. Naruto is fighting on his own. It's really close. They're both powerful. Eventually, Yugi is dying. He says, you fool, you can't save the world. Do you understand what you're doing? Do you understand what you're doing here? He's like, you think you're gonna become the king of Fortnite? Like, Yugi's been fighting in the resistance for a while now. Becoming the king of Fortnite isn't going to save it. Do you understand? You're doing everything wrong. Naruto believes what he's doing is the right thing. So he shoots him, and he goes to keep fighting. Eventually they win, and they're doing pretty good, right? Nothing else is really a challenge. They get to the end of it. The screen goes black. They're like, okay, the kings of Fortnite. The counter, for some reason, picks up to someone else there. Shadow remarks, damn, this is a creepypasta. Creepypastas are as dark as my soul. And they're the kings of Fortnite, right? And what happens is they're in a room. This panel has been around for so many years. It's been there since the universe was created. Like, Fortnite has been going on for longer than the actual world has been going on for, right? For, like, our reality, the third dimension. And these matches have kept going on. Now, what happens here is they're in there. Naruto doesn't want to press the button. Naruto really doesn't want to press the button, but minutes, hours turn into days, days turn into weeks, and weeks turns into months, which turn into years. And he finally realizes, guys, we have to push the button. God's like, yeah, what's better, sitting in here for the rest of eternity, or, like, pressing the button and resetting the universe? Like, seriously. So, Naruto reluctantly raises his hand and presses the button, and all this stuff happens, right? Naruto is born, God, he's in the world, Shadow the Hedgehog, he's created with the cloning stuff of Black Doom's blood and whatever goes on, and Sonic Adventure 2 happens, all that stuff happens. God is there. They eventually become friends and they start hanging out, right? So they're going in to play video games together. They're hanging out. Naruto is masturbating. He's like, he looked at Minecraft, he got pretty horny, and so yeah, you see what's going on here, right? This happens, and Naruto goes, and they're playing, they decide, okay, so like, Shadow shows up, right? And he goes Super Saiyan 3 and grabs a handful of the ramen and starts jerking off Naruto's ninja dick with the ramen. Shrek shows up, and he does a sex move called the Rumpelstiltskin, the Rumple Foreskin. and he's like pounding Shadow in the butt. Shadow's jerking on Naruto with the ramen. And what happens here is like
unfreaking touchable.
okay, so like they're going off, and eventually it takes them like 50 hours to finish it, but they decide to play video games. They play Bratz and Barbie Adventure on the Atari, and then they play Fortnite SNES on the Super Nintendo, and they play this game for so long that the universe eventually collapses in on itself, after playing some Black Ops 2, of course. And they are in the afterlife with God. They're talking, they meet him and stuff like that. They're in Tilted Towers, it's the afterlife. And what goes on here is they decide they're in Fortnite. It's time to play Fortnite in real life, right? So they were playing Fortnite with God on the Super Nintendo in the afterlife for 5 seconds, and they quit. Cause like, why play that when I can play Fortnite in real life? So they go through. They're fighting these people. They're doing pretty good. They're pretty strong together, right? These are strong dudes.
We have captured the control point.
They go through. Yugi's at the top of a tower. He's down, and he starts fighting them again. Like, he starts fighting them. He's like, he goes and challenges them to a shotgun duel and stuff. Okay, and they're pretty close. God, Shadow, and Shrek are all locked out from the fight. They can't fight with Naruto. So what happens is they fight. It's a close fight, really close battle. They're both really strong, but Naruto eventually overpowers Yugi, and Yugi tells him, "Don't you see what you're doing is wrong? You can't save the world. You can't. This is the wrong way and stuff." And then Naruto goes and takes a shotgun, and he's like, "No, this is the right way. I just know it's the right way." And he goes and kills him. Right? He goes and shoots him with a shotgun, and then what happens is, okay, so he shoots him. The counter's like at 50 now, right? It's below 50. It keeps ticking down. They keep fighting. Everyone else is really easy. And they win. The entire screen goes black. The counter ticks up to 1. Shadow is like, "Damn, this is a creepypasta. Creepypastas are as dark as my soul." And then they're in this room, right? With this button. They're in here. And Naruto raises his hand up. Like, after like seriously, like hours, they turn into weeks to months to years, and time just goes on so crazy. It's crazy for these dudes now. And God's like, we could either spend the rest of eternity in here being immortal with no death in the universe, or we could just press the reset button and start it all over. Naruto reluctantly raises his hand and presses the reset button. The end.